Is that the noise that we're making this time? Excellent.
That's what I heard outside your window.
Yeah, the window's open. Sorry, we have critters here.
I'm gonna cut this part anyway, so don't worry about it.
No, you're not. You never do.
I actually do. I cut off a big portion of the last episode.
Because it was too long.
No, just because the opening didn't make a ton of sense.
Right, so you're going to leave this part in because this is our witty banter.
I may leave some of it in.
All right, so should we get started?
That will probably be where I start the episode.
Excellent. Sounds good. So, welcome back to First Watch, Rewatch, the podcast where one of us is seeing it for the first time.
And the other of us already knows what's coming.
I'm Sarah, this time on the Rewatch.
And I'm Tom, watching Burn Notice for the second time. I'm sorry. It's The Good Wife. I'm watching it for the first time. My bad. Let's just say we had a listener who both of us know quite well who dropped a line and was curious, and I said he would have to work the ref on what season 3 may hold.
Oh. Want it to be Burn Notice?
Yes.
They're going to be disappointed.
Because you've already seen it?
I've already seen it.
So both of us have already... Yep, no possibility.
I mean, that's adorable. Was it Kieran who said that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Kieran.
I had actually thought about several old USA shows that had been... So I had suggested to you a while ago Psych, and I don't know if you ever ended up watching that or not.
I did. I watched like many seasons. I didn't finish it, but yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's
yeah.
enough. And Monk was in there, white collar, Suits.
Oh, my dad just turned on Suits for the very first time today. I saw like 10 minutes of the opening episode.
It's engaging. I have watched the show twice through now.
Oh, okay.
First time when it was originally out and I was watching it like weekly or, as the seasons progressed.
Okay, yeah.
And then when it caught on Netflix, that huge craze over the summer, I watched it again because it is highly entertaining.
Okay.
But the legal accuracy is so abysmal as to be malpractice.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think I got the premise was that he doesn't have a law degree. Anyway, I was like, okay, this could be fast. Anyway, yeah, literally just by chance happened to see a little bit of it today. And I liked Psych, by the way. And you told me that when I was like, I needed grading background material. Because I had finished How I Met Your Mother and I needed something in that same vein, which is why I was excited in West Wing because oh shoot, my brain isn't working. The kid who gets hired.
Oh, Dule Hill?
Yes, thank you. Because I recognized him from Psych, but I only saw Psych because you recommended it to me.
Well, ironically enough, Dule Hill is also in the last few seasons of Suits.
Oh, really? Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, you said you were thinking about some different shows from USA.
I have several in my quiver that we'll discuss on the season finale when we select the next episode.
Okay, got it. But knowing that we have some audience input on what they want us to do, I mean, I love Burn Notice. I would happily watch it again.
I could never get through season 8.
I don't remember anything.
I think that was the second to last. Whatever the second to last season was. The one where his brother dies. Spoiler alert.
I don't remember. It's been a long time, but watched it obsessively. And I mean, any show that has Bruce Campbell in it is a good time. So, yeah.
Okay.
But
so what are we here to discuss actually?
We are here to discuss we're watching The Good Wife. So today
you forgot already?
Right. We are covering season 1, episodes 13, 14, and 15, and that is Bad, High, and Bang.
I will need you to spell the word high.
H-I, as in
There you go.
hello.
Apparently with a heavy Yiddish accent.
Hello. Okay. So let's get right into it. We're just going to get right into it. All right. So we're going to get right into it. Also, we're going to get right into it. Right into it.
4.
Should we start?
Are we getting
Should
right
we get
into it? You filibuster a lot.
I do. It's so that my brain can catch up. Episode 13 is called Bad, and it is directed by...
No, I'm bad, very bad.
I actually know the lyrics to Fat by Weird Al Yankovic better than I know the lyrics to Bad. This is directed by...
There is a video in college that somebody probably still has on a cell phone somewhere of me dancing to Bad in my living room.
I need to see this immediately.
I don't
Please.
know. I don't have the video.
Internet, find it for me, please. Do the thing.
Then again, my sister, Sarah, with an H, will reveal on this coming episode that's already been technically released by the time this episode goes up on the feed, in our Legally Blonde episode, that there is a video that she holds of me dancing to Genuine with a duster during COVID.
No.
And I know people from I have officiated multiple weddings. The last one I officiated, my friend Ben from high school. I did the recreation of Channing Tatum's striptease to Genuine. And I'm sure somebody has that somewhere.
That would be amazing. All right. Now we're really gonna
So
get
what was
to
this
it.
episode about?
I don't know. I need to tell you who the director is, but I can't pronounce it. Alex Zakruski?
You apparently don't have enough Polish people around where you live. Zek Ryszewski.
Thank you. Thank you. Written by Ted Humphrey. Original air date is February 2nd, 2010. So, Alicia defends in civil court Colin Sweeney, a wealthy man who is accused of murdering his wife. Part of his wife's body is found near where the man lives, which makes him look guilty. The rest of her body is later found on their daughter's property, which raises the possibility that she killed the wife. The man was found not guilty in his criminal trial, but Alicia suspects he may have committed the crime. Meanwhile, Peter's appeal begins, and Diane buys a gun for protection when a drug dealer she unsuccessfully defended years ago threatens to kill her. We do have several guest stars in this episode. Some really, really good ones. The first is Dylan Baker plays Colin Sweeney, and he's
A true that guy.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so funny because I almost always see him playing like a total creeper like this. The very first movie I ever saw him in was Happiness, which that's the Ted Salon's film, anyway, he plays a pedophile in that movie. Very first movie I ever saw him in, so I always think of him that way. But he's really good at playing a creep. But, you know, he was just in it. I was reminded of it today because Dad and I were flipping through channels. He was in the 2017 version of Little Women, the miniseries version with Maya Hawke, and he plays Mr. March like a totally nice, gentle father. Gross. Anyway, he's great.
By the way, when is that Little Women episode coming out so that people can be reminded of, how many you have or have not seen?
I mean, I just released Gold Diggers in 1933 last week.
Wow. You did
Yeah, I did. Released it on Friday or something like that. That's out. I am in the middle of Lady Fur Day. And yeah, so we're getting there. We had a whole episode come out, and already lots of people have listened to it. It's great. So, Little Women. I don't know. Eventually we'll get to it. Also, in this episode, Pedro Pascal is back. Okay, with his little baby face. Yes. And playing the part of Nancy Crozier, the other lawyer. That is Mamie Gummer. That's Meryl Streep's daughter, actually. And we see her.
One of her other daughters, because the one that was an actress, she was in The Newsroom, and I don't remember seeing her in this episode.
The dumb blonde lawyer on the other side, that is Mamie Gummer. And that is Meryl Streep's daughter.
Well, I mean, I can see it now, but she looks like the other one that I'm familiar with.
Who's the other one? This Mamie Gummer is the only one that I'm familiar with. Anyway, she's great in this role.
Grace Gummer. So they must be just, yeah.
Okay. So, what are your first watch impressions of this episode, Tom?
Dylan Baker was really good. He was a complete enigma. I had no idea what was actually happening, and so it felt more criminally investigative than it did trial work, per se.
Okay.
I didn't have too many faults to pick with this episode on the legal values, particularly because they rolled it back as to the complex nature of it, because, is it Mamie you said it was?
Well,
character.
The character's name is Nancy Crozier, yeah.
Yeah. The younger attorney was more of a novice, theoretically, although that leads to questions. So I thought it had a good underneath the surface kind of attitude towards it.
Okay.
Ultimately, I find it a bit forgettable outside of the lead performance by Dylan Baker, because I still don't know who did it or not. Did he hide his wife? I'm not sure what to think.
I think that's kind of the point, is you're left being like, what? He's so creepy, and part of Alicia asks him, why are you so kind of like irreverent? Why do you make all of these jokes that are so inappropriate? Like jokes about your wife being dead. And he said, the second that people thought that I killed my wife, I started getting like amazing like tables at restaurants, and people treat me like a celebrity because they think I killed my wife. So I'm leaning into it heavily, which explains it up to a certain point. But then you're also like, maybe not. But it's a good cover statement for him to say, right? That people are more interested in me because they think I'm a murderer other than before. But then there's all of these other things that he's like into BDSM and had all of these like weird proclivities. And I'm like, and this feels like a Dylan Baker character. And I think he's really good at playing these people who are definitely bad guys, but have just enough where you're like, wait a minute. Like his character seems to be in on the joke. And I appreciate it because he's so deliciously gross. just ugh, he makes my skin crawl. But also, anytime I see him, that happens because I associate him with this role from Happiness, which is just yeah, outrageous. So
Okay. I would also say the daughter, his is it actually his daughter or is it his daughter-in-law?
stepdaughter.
Stepdaughter, my bad. I, for whatever reason, completely blanked on the term.
Mm-hmm.
She is a that lady too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
she's
couldn't.
gone on to do a ton of other things. I think the first thing that I think I can immediately point out, she's been a lawyer in a couple of different shows. And wasn't she Colin Hanks's wife on like a popular NBC series or something like Parenthood?
I can't remember.
I never watched the show, so I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know. So, okay. So, yeah, the question that I had was, do you think he did it? And you say you don't know. Which way do you pick a side?
ooh, if I had my druthers, I would say no, but I'm not confident in that answer.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you think that the blonde bimbo attorney, Nancy Crozier, is she really dumb? Or is.
Not 100%. I think she is playing it up to a certain level of effect. However, her innocence stuff, to a degree, you can play that up. To other ones, it's felt somewhat sincere. So
Her saying, like, I'm from Michigan, I don't know what all of this
I've been
BDSM
to
stuff is.
Michigan. That's full of. Michigan is
Right.
just as perverted as everywhere else in the Midwest.
So I think the thing is that right, it starts off and it seems like she really is like completely clueless, but Alicia clocks it and says to Will, "She's really good. We need to be careful of her." And Will's like, "Yeah, no, she's an idiot." But Alicia like recognizes that she is far more cunning than she lets on, I think. But also I know more about her character.
A lot of trial work, in what I can notice, because I've never actually done a trial myself, feels like a lot of poker. And
Mhm.
the most dangerous people at the poker table are not the complete novices or the people that don't know what they're doing.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I have that backwards. The most dangerous people are the people that are willing to go all in because they have a pair of twos.
Right.
It's the people
Yeah.
that think they know a little bit and then overextend that, like, I know a ton, and so I'm going to be just fine. And those are the people that make a ton of mistakes. The
Okay.
people that at least recognize and play into their lack of knowledge or whatever else, those are more dangerous, in my opinion, at all times.
Okay.
So for him to brush this off, eh, feels a little bit like traditional lawyer ego from a
Okay.
managing partner who likely wouldn't be doing a trial anyway.
Sure.
That is my number one complaint about this show. The managing partners are involved in way too much shit.
Okay.
The managing partners basically sit back and let money kind of roll in, and their name and
Okay.
their prestige
Well,
just
but part of the
lends to them.
problem in this series of episodes is that the firm is maybe not doing so hot, right? And that's gonna.
Okay, but let's just think about this, okay? We've seen one attorney so far in divorce. We've seen one other equity partner, the black guy, who I don't know what his name is, and he'll pop up in, I think, the next episode, or maybe it was the episode. He pops up in several episodes throughout this season, but he's usually just a side character. We've seen one other female attorney. We've seen Carrie, we've seen Alicia, we've seen now the gone partner, which I can't even remember his name, Stern, and we've seen Diane, and we've seen Will. So they're talking like less than 10 attorneys in this supposedly gigantic firm with multiple lawyers and multiple floors and all these random secretaries that we never meet. Maybe if the managing partners were actually doing something more than being involved in every case of the week, they would be making money.
Sure. Absolutely right.
White shoe law firms do not have these kinds of. This is like mid-size boutique law firm stuff that I deal with on a daily basis as far as finances and costs, not the ones that have their own divorce department and their own real estate department and should have their own criminal trial work department and be farming this stuff out. We should be needing way more people, especially if they're spending $30-some thousand on fucking floral arrangements.
That's not even this episode. Shh. You're jumping ahead. Here's one remaining question that I have about this episode. Because the first line of this episode is, this is not about sex. And then this is the breakdown of the appeal, right, for Peter. And they literally, Joe Morton is playing his attorney, right, and explains and lays it out for the very first time what they're trying to do, right? That this is basically an appeal based on new evidence that, because we've been like, well, how did this happen? How is he already in the spot? And so I copied down everything that Joe Morton said. My client was convicted and sentenced to prison for a very simple and almost prosaic reason. He told his subordinates to DP, decline to prosecute certain cases. And the prosecution believes that this was in trade for financial and sexual favors, right? And so that I was asking my dad, I was like, is this a thing? Can you actually go to, he's like, this is kind of dumb. He was agreeing with you that this is like not.
No, you would never go to prison as a political figure like this. You would never go to regular prison. You'd be in white collar prison away from all the dangerous criminals that you put there.
Right.
And bribery is rarely, if ever, prosecuted. He would cut some deal. He would go away. He'd get some type of payment, and the state would not have to bear all of the issues. And they wouldn't have been putting out all the sex tapes and all the. No, that's not how white collar crime works. When you embezzle money, when you bribe, you get a sweetheart deal and a golden parachute. Not fucking jail time. This is America.
Right. Well, so the whole idea was that it finally, to me, for the very first time, made sense that at least, even if the crime didn't make sense, that the whole reason they were doing this appeal thing is, this is evidence that we didn't have before, but it would have fundamentally changed the outcome of the previous trial. So we basically need to start over and all of that type of stuff. So just throwing that out there. Let's move on to the next episode, shall we?
When does the Spy Kids villain come in? I forget which episode.
I don't know who the Spy Kids villain is.
Alan Cumming.
Oh, not yet.
Well,
not until number
why the
3.
fuck is Peter trying to be Eugene Debs and run from prison? Also, only in TV and entertainment.
Well, let's get closer and closer to the Spy Kids villain. I've never seen that movie. I don't know what it is. I
had to watch it for a podcast that never released with Adam St. John.
Oh, okay. No.
I saw it as a kid, and I hadn't seen it in 20 years, and I watched it and did an episode that we recorded, and he never released.
Yeah, I was about to do an episode of Shrek with him, and then he canceled the day before. Okay, so episode 14, This Is Hi, as in hello, directed by John Gallagher, written by Robert King and Michelle King and Barry Skolnick. Original air date is February 9th, 2010. Yes, okay, February 9th. Oh, this is a really long explanation. So, Sonia Rucker, whose company is a client of Alicia's firm, has a crisis. Her babysitter, Lisa Pruitt, was murdered at Rucker's home, and her husband, Jason Rucker, is the lead suspect. Will and Diane call on Alicia and Carrie to help with the case. Carrie had thought he had the following day off and has taken mushrooms with a friend in from Seattle. He must pull himself together for the next 48 hours. At the crime scene, Calinda notices a small item that appears to be a rubber nub from the bottom of a laptop. When contact is finally made with Jason, who claims to have been in a movie, what they mean is at the movies, not in a movie, they bring him into the firm and have him take a polygraph test before the police arrive to arrest him, as Will, Alicia, and a tripping Carrie question Jason. They discover that he was at his studio where he had been working on a graphic novel. Lisa was working with Jason on a graphic novel at his studio, but their relationship did not go any further than that. At first, Calinda suspects the neighborhood security guard is responsible for the murder, but turns her attention towards one of Lisa's classmates, Max, when she discovers a rubber nub is missing from the bottom of his laptop. Max may have gotten Lisa pregnant, but when she wanted to have an abortion, he killed her and tried to frame Jason. Calinda is subpoenaed to testify at Peter's appeal trial, where she describes working for both Peter and Childs. Peter wins his appeal and is released to home arrest with electronic monitoring. Holy God. All right, what are your first watch impressions of this episode, Tom?
That guy was way too frumpy to be ending up with the hot babysitter and have gotten her pregnant.
The classmate?
The guy with the almost white guy's Jerry curl, and I can't really make fun of his glasses, but he just, yeah. There's no way that guy is getting that girl, and let alone getting her pregnant. And she's got a lot of options. Sorry. No, I'm not buying it.
Okay.
I'm not buying it.
And that he had to kill her because she didn't want to get an abortion?
Yeah, that's also seemingly weird. However, the formatting of the episode I thought was creative. It was different to take us through the initial arrest and trying to shield somebody from prosecution, how they maintained the rights. I thought it was actually fairly well crafted in that capacity, although it's an area of law that I don't have as much experience to critique. So maybe it's why I enjoyed it a little bit more. But they didn't do a terrible job, as far as I could tell, with revealing things, making sure that he didn't say anything. Let me make this PSA to everybody. If you ever get arrested, if you have a run-in with the cops in any capacity, particularly if you're white, do not talk to the police, period. And stop right there. This is your legal notice from me, and I do understand what I'm talking about. I don't care if it's a traffic ticket. Don't talk to the police, period. You're not going to be good at it. You're not going to work your way out of it. Everybody thinks they can talk their way out of a speeding ticket. No, just take the ticket and go. It's better off than what the alternatives could be.
Sure. I've never had a speeding ticket, so
I've had a bunch of warnings. I think I've only had one, but I've had some other moving violations.
Nope, I'm a perfect angel in every way in a car. So, what about, okay, there's lots of things going on with like them bringing the guy in and like things are happening and oh, the police don't yet have this information. So like they send Alicia to this art studio for her to like go look for evidence before the police get there because they don't know about it. And she's like, this is illegal. And Will's like, no, this is within the law. Like that you went, and she like removes things from the studio, like a bra and a brush that has hair on it and all of this stuff. You disagree?
I haven't taken criminal procedure yet. I haven't taken evidence yet. Those are both in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling that at best, it's unethical.
Okay. But that's what Alicia says, right?
Yeah. I have no reason to say that this is out of bounds or that it's incorrect. That I'll leave to Dana.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. So there's trying to think.
Especially because you can suppress certain pieces of evidence anyway, whether they're relevant and whether they can be brought
Right.
in.
Okay.
I don't see the need for all of that, especially when you're working with the cops. You, the fact that they're working with him, that they're allowing him to talk in certain fashions, there's some cooperation, would have earned them a lot more than they're currently getting.
Okay.
And there would have been a lot better cooperation. There is not nearly the adversarial relationship that shows like this depict.
Okay. Do you... I mean, it makes for a fun scene, though, right?
Sure, it does. I understand the tension and needing something for your B block in here and whatever else. There's a whole lot that goes on in this episode just from the A story, but then we have the B story in the background, which also has some rather large developments as well.
Right. So basically, Calinda figures out this crime, right? Single-handedly,
Yes.
She figures everything out. She's got some moments with the other detective, which are suggestive.
A little more than suggestive.
Okay,
especially when you get to a later episode that we've also consumed. For sure.
Yes.
That being said, at what point did Calinda become some sort of like legal superhero? Because it seems like every week she comes up with the answer or the response or the clever investigation point or something else that helps them do something. She basically fills in the last blanks for everybody.
Right, and she's so magnanimous. She does it because it's the right thing to do. Because she's such a good person. Right?
I don't buy that for a second.
So she's actually, so that's part of the story, is that she is subpoenaed to testify at Peter's appeal trial. And she is a
woman that is supposedly being pitted between two guys that theoretically think they have her in a chokehold. She seems to get the better of them both every single fucking time.
I mean, me just sitting back, not caring about legal stuff, this is why I enjoyed her character, because she seemed like she just wouldn't take anybody's stuff.
This is the first time where I thought, as a character, I came to understand and like her a lot more.
Ah, okay. Good.
Because she was creative, ingenious, and also because Childs and Peter are doofuses.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
the first couple of episodes of this season or of this show try and set up that Childs is like this criminal, enterprising mastermind that was able to see behind all of Peter's charade, and therefore he was at the forefront of all of this. But he was magnanimous because he didn't show all of the sex tape evidence that could have been manufactured against Peter.
Right.
And yet, while he's cross-examining a witness who is being quite explicit and then looking at the judge, he doesn't get what the fuck's going on.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, as a character, he's you're right.
Thick in the head.
He's a doofus. They are both doofuses, and Peter just like So
mind you, I looked up Chris Noth over the weekend. I did not know that he is now listed as a former actor, that his career is essentially over.
Oh, why is that?
He got Me Too'd, which makes this all the more ironic.
Did he really? I don't know anything about...
in 2021. I didn't either. I didn't know he got swept up in it 5 years ago, but it makes this so much more ironic.
Oh, wow. See, because
I just wanted to throw that in there.
I know that he was on Sex and the City, but I've never watched a single episode of Sex and the City, so I was just like, okay, that's what he's known for. I only know him from this. So, he sucks. I don't think he's a very good actor Like, but I guess he fills this role of gross that's he's playing himself. I
I don't know.
guess.
I'm just putting that out there because we hadn't acknowledged it, partly because neither of us apparently knew about it.
Well, why? How could we acknowledge it if we didn't know, right?
But that's okay because by the end of the season, he's going to die.
Okay,
So
great.
I
So he
I said
is
he was going to die before he was released from prison. For that part of it, I was technically wrong.
okay.
However, I'm doubling down that he is still going to die.
Okay, so he wins the appeal and he is put out on house arrest. So, do you think Alicia looks happy or upset that he is coming home? I mean, she's certainly surprised. That's not the
I
question.
think she's conflicted.
Okay.
And I think that bears out in the next several episodes.
Okay. So just wait on that one then.
Put a pin in it for
Put a pin in it. Okay. What about Calinda saying to her, because she's got to go testify and Alicia's been showing up for the trial, right? When she says, stay away from court tomorrow to Alicia, do you think she's being a good friend, or she's like, there's going to be she's essentially notifying her that there's going to be dirt on Peter that could sway Alicia's feelings, or what?
I think we've been drawn to thinking that Calinda is Alicia's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she works for the firm and even though there's no personal attachment that needs to be there, I think that it was supposed to be friendly. And
No,
as a result,
sure. Really, my question is, it's definitely friendly. Stay away from court, right?
right.
But is part of the friendly gesture being like, if you come, it's going to tip the scales for you, so you're not going to feel like you're in limbo? As in, like, I'm being a friend to you, and this is going to give you information that could release you from being the good wife, right? That's my question.
That's an interesting thought. I guess I hadn't considered it.
Okay, so consider it. What do you think that could be part of it? Because that's kind of always what I took it as, is stay away because it's going to hurt you if you hear it, but also if you hear it and it hurts you, you can make a decision rather than just being.
I don't know if I would have taken it that way, though.
Okay.
Particularly because she's a character that's very calculating, and given the way that her testimony goes in the end, that she doesn't really give away a whole lot.
Right.
She just makes some kind of insinuations that there is stuff going on and that there are names that are attached that would be of public record that have a lot of skin in the game, let's say.
Okay.
I don't know if that really prejudices or puts any real onus on it. So I think it was just more of a, Childs is going to try and put me to the screws. If I have to say anything, I'd rather not have to look at you while I'm doing it.
Is this the episode where they say that Peter was with the prostitute like 18 different times? And
Yes,
Alicia's there to hear it?
Stand. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so he basically admits that this was an ongoing thing, and therefore justifying why this girl in the previous episode was like, he was going to leave Alicia for me, and we had a full-on relationship, and that he really was spending money on all of this type. Anyway, okay, yeah.
I was going to say, if I'm going to leave my wife of I don't know how many years with multiple kids and my job and whatever else, it's got to be for more than 18 bouts of sex.
But what if it's like the best sex of your life?
To me, sex is always like pizza. It's good when it's warm. It's good when it's cold. It's good on Saturday morning. It's good in Sunday evening. You know, the best sex. I mean, come on.
But also,
Some is better than others. Trust me, when somebody... Well, I probably shouldn't go into that. I will refrain from telling too many personal tales outside of school. But when there is unintentional physical harm to one's reproductive anatomy, I will say that was not a particularly fun moment. Outside of that,
Okay.
I'll let
Also, I
your
mean,
imagination paint a picture now.
sure. But you said if you were going to leave your wife of however many years, it would need to be for more than 18 sessions of sex. I said, but what
It's
if it's the
not just the
best sex?
quality, it's the quantity.
Correct. So what I'm saying, but he also doesn't leave his wife, right? But the thing is,
That
that girl wouldn't know, right? That wasn't enough. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? We're going to move on to,
the aptly titled Bang.
yes. So this is episode 15, directed by Rod Holcomb and written by Courtney Kemp Agba. Original air date is March 2nd, 2010. And this is where we have the amazing arrival of one of my favorite characters, Eli Gold, played by Alan Cumming. Absolute chef's kiss. This is like the time, I believe, for myself when I really started loving this show, because the flood of characters who come in are, I love them. So we have Eli Gold showing up. So anyway, let's get to what this episode is about. So Peter, oh, and in the previous episode, we have Diane like shopping for guns, and it's really weird. Okay, but it carries over into this episode as well. So Peter returns home under house arrest with ankle monitor, or with an ankle monitor, while his appeal is considered. He hires political operative Eli Gold to assist in the appeal. Alicia serves as second chair for Diane in a murder trial. Their client, Brad Boussard, is charged with shooting Miles Wagner, an unpopular mutual fund manager who defrauded people out of their life savings by assisting in Bernie Madoff's investment scandal. Diane consults ballistics expert Kurt McVeigh, played by Gary Cole. Alicia discovers a conspiracy tactic that will allow a key witness to testify, and Broussard is vindicated and set free. FBI agent Lana Delaney asks Calinda to feed her information about Peter, but Calinda declines. So much going on in this episode. I also really love Gary Cole's character, Kurt.
So we
McVeigh.
get 3 primary new supporting characters introduced in one episode.
Yes.
Because we already know that Gary Cole comes back. Well, at least those of us that's watched ahead, because we're recording 2 episodes tonight.
Yes.
We know that Eli Gold is there for recurring characters. The only one that I feel like is going to come back around at some point is Lana Delaney. Mm-hmm. I have no reason to suspect otherwise at this moment, but it feels like somebody that Calinda has a relationship with, and theoretically, everybody that Calinda seems to have a relationship with in law enforcement comes back at some point or another.
And they all are super into her. The FBI agent literally says, I want you to work under me, and like strokes her hand, and is very hot. It's very hot. Yeah, it's great. Calinda has literally everyone wrapped around her finger. They all think that she thinks that they are the most important person that she's ever interacted with. It's great. I love it.
It feels like she is the dominatrix of this rowdy bunch.
Yeah, I mean, she might be.
I don't
know. That's probably why I liked her so much. I mean, I still like her, although it's funny because you mentioned, like, yeah, she's really only supposed to be about 25 or 26, and that throws me for a loop. I can't quite wrap my head around that. But anyway, so you've got, do you want to talk about Eli Gold first, or do you want to talk about Kurt McVeigh, or what?
I do like pumpkins, Cotton. It's Gary Cole.
Okay.
Gary Cole is one of my, I'm trying to think, who is, This is going to drive me nuts. So give me 2 seconds here because I have to look up somebody else's name because I'm
Okay.
just forgetting them. As much as I enjoy, of course I can't find him now, even though he's in the main cast. Stephen Root. Dana loves Stephen Root.
Okay.
I very much like Stephen Root,
Okay.
but I fucking love Gary Cole because he shows up and he can be an absolute dick in Suits. One of the most unethically bound lawyers that you can ever have. Or he can be the Marlboro Man in The Good Wife. Or he could be a dodgeball announcer. That's some good, clean family fun. This is just like the Helsinki episode of 1919, and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, I love him too. And this character, Kurt McVeigh, so, I mean, right off the bat, so he's a ballistics expert. They need to hire someone. And Diane, we've just watched her in this episode be like completely just like upset that she's even touched a gun and that she might need to own a gun and handle a gun. And I think the best way to describe these two characters is that now, well, she says to Kurt McVeigh, the one unfortunate last name, right? Because the association with Timothy McVeigh. And he apparently...
This was at a much different time in the United States history when it wasn't 30 years away, but it was more like a decade.
Correct. And he likes Sarah Palin. And so this is a totally...
That was a weird blast from the past. And I'll be honest, and this is a weird factoid. This is the exact time and place in 2009 where my mother had a very similar haircut to Sarah Palin, and people constantly went up to... you look just like Sarah Palin. And my mother is a bleeding heart liberal who was so offended every time.
Yeah.
And started to get angry at people every time they would say that.
Right. So part of the way that this would play out now, it's not as extreme because again, it is 2009. So it's a different era. But the way that this would play out now is Kurt McVeigh would be MAGA, right? That would be the label that everybody would understand. Because we don't still have this type of person. So he's conservative.
And we know Diane is extraordinarily liberal.
Correct. And they play this out so perfectly in that she's like incredibly bothered by what he does, and yet she's totally drawn to him, and he seems to really like her. And so I like the tension between them. This is when the hope... Yes.
There's definitely chemistry there.
Yes.
I like the recurrence of the character in the relationship if it manifests.
Right. And so she says, oh, I feel like Cinderella when she's like coming and like looking at his guns and he's explaining things, and she's just she feels like a person kind of for the first time. I feel like once Kurt shows up, like she has more of a sense of humor. She isn't just like this completely like stiff, like hardworking woman. She feels like a woman and all of that type of stuff. So I really, really love it. Okay, so we also have, let's see, this... Everything's always a murder case. The judge for this murder trial is Joanna Gleason, and she originated the baker's wife role in the original production of Into the Woods on Broadway, by the way. So she's a Broadway star. Will takes Alicia off this case, right? And he was like, well, I just have to spread it around. Like, I just don't... He clearly is worried that he's playing favorites, and Alicia's bothered by that, and he says, I want you to be here, and there's like this really weighty moment between them. What do you think? Don't think about the future episodes.
You know what my thoughts were, that I've been wanting them to bone the entire season.
Yeah, and this feels like a promise for that, right?
It's another tease.
Yeah, it is.
It's just the further escalation of this whole thing until it eventually manifests. Or in some capacity, some would say erupts.
Okay. We'll have to wait and see. But he puts Carrie on this trial, and there is a witness at the trial, and they call him Santa, right? Because he plays Santa, and he's gonna be the person that they like hinge everything on. And is it Diane who says take out Santa, and then Carrie goes and does like the cross examination and is a total beautiful asshole to Santa. What did you
he
think
does
of
a
Carrie?
masterful job. That is a great example of cross-examination. You walk them by repeating certain things that they said and reminding them of certain details, and you walk them right up to the edge. And then you ask that just dagger in the side question.
Right, right.
And they have no response.
Yeah. I just loved the line, take out Santa, and then he does. And it's, to me, feels like all of the weird, like, because Carrie is pitted against Alicia, right, since the beginning. And so we're kind of still unsure about him. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And here he plays that kind of bad guy who's taking out, oh, poor Santa. But he does such a good job of it. And I really, really like it. So then, okay, what about Alan Cumming showing up?
Okay. Around this same period of time, did you ever watch the show Entourage?
No.
Okay. Do you know who Rahm Emanuel is?
I know who Rahm Emanuel is, and this character is based on Rahm Emanuel.
That's what I was going to ask, because guaranteed that this was based on Rahm Emanuel. Political operator, constantly is swearing, is somebody who plays hardball. Anyway, in the most famous character from Entourage is a character called Ari Gold. Rahm Emanuel's brother is one of the most powerful Hollywood agents, Ari Emanuel. And so they have this weird dynamic where I think Rahm is going to run for president now, and he was the Chicago mayor.
He was like the Chicago mayor shortly after this episode or this season airs, which is very bizarre.
I didn't think he ran quite so quickly for mayor. I know that because right now, this season in 2009, he was still chief of staff in the Obama White House.
But yes, but this episode is already into 2010. And so it's basically his next political fray is as mayor of Chicago, where this takes place.
And so I enjoy the character. I think Alan Cumming has a lot of fun playing this character, although they start to sand off some of the edges of the few episodes beyond this that I've seen.
Okay. I see this for me is again one of these characters who's going to stick around for a while. And watching this the first time, I had no idea that they were coming, so I was really excited to see Gary Cole and Alan Cumming. And so this was like, to me, like I already said, this episode shifted everything for me, where I was like, I'm way more interested in what is going on, because it just feels like there's going to be more happening, or things are more important. Things are going to have more than one episode arcs that don't have anything to do with just the tension between Alicia and Peter. And while Eli Gold showing up still has to do with Peter, it gives us something else to look at. And I love Alan Cumming 100% of the time. And I think he does a great job with an American accent, by the way. Like, yeah, he's great.
But again, why the hell is Peter trying to run for state's attorney while on house arrest?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. Focus on your retrial.
Yeah,
The
Sure,
public
sure.
will is not in your camp. I know that they've put out poll numbers or whatever else, but even Tiger Woods needed a long time to come back from all of his weird proclivities. And he was like beloved. Nobody beloves a state's attorney. I'm sorry.
True. True.
Particularly in corrupt Cook County.
Okay. Valid. Valid, valid. Okay, so we've anything else you want to say about any of these episodes?
Again, I'm doubling down that Peter's gonna die.
Okay.
He's a goner.
Okay.
I'm not giving up the ghost until such time as like the show's over and he's still alive.
Okay.
That's just yeah. That's where I'm going. I do agree with you that some of the new characters as they cycle through a few of them have been better. I like the fact that we still seemingly get a few of the better judges again and again and again, which is helpful. I wouldn't say that any of these really sticks out to me per se as being something overly memorable, but they were all entertaining. And
Okay.
I think the show has found its rhythm and its identity by this point in that first
Okay.
season.
Yeah.
But it's clearly changed from where it started.
Right.
When I think it was episode 3, 4, something like that, in those early first 5, and Carrie's like a bumbling mess where he's basically slobbering on himself. And now he's taking out Santa Claus
Right.
on the stand like a seasoned vet.
Yeah.
The character has clearly been written differently. I already said
Right.
Childs has definitely changed. Calinda's changed. Peter's kind of changed as to what the character arc is supposed to be. Zach has grown in way different ways, although we're going to get to that in the next batch of episodes here. I guess the only character I'm waiting for any sort of real development on is the daughter. We haven't
Okay.
seen any development from her since that like 3rd or 4th episode where it was the friend of Alicia's that needed representation for her son. Outside of that, that daughter is just kind of like there. She's there to play off of the son, and that's about it.
Episode where she has the kid whose dad is also in prison.
Oh, I suppose you're right.
But
Okay.
but it's minimal, right? I mean, it's kind of she has a whole episode, but it's
But
still
I feel like that episode's a lot
yeah.
more about Jackie than it is about the daughter.
Correct. Yeah, it is. We see the daughter more, but it really is about Jackie's perception of things.
I am also enjoying the fact that we have gone very Jackie-less for a while.
Yeah, she's kind of a. I feel like on like mine and dad's show, we would give her the bimbo award. Like she just is a character you don't actually need to have around, and she just kind of like takes up space and is annoying. And yeah,
She's a one-note character.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
overly supportive of Peter, and she's snide, rude, and sarcastic. The kids don't like her. Alicia tolerates her. And
Right.
that's what we get from that character. That's not masterful of any variety.
Right. Right. Well, and it justifies them being able to bring in a babysitter for a hot moment and all of that type of stuff. How are you gonna rank the characters right now? Is it Will still your favorite? Has anybody moved?
I know this is terrible podcasting because I'm thinking about it in the moment and I hadn't really put together a mental list of all of the characters. I'm going to move Gary Cole into number 1. I'm going to move Alan Cumming into character number 2.
Ooh.
I'm going to put Carrie 3.
This is a huge shuffle.
I know. I think I'm going to put Alicia 4.
Okay.
And I'll round it out with a joint tie between Will and Diane.
For slot number 5. Wow.
Calinda has moved up, and there is a huge gap between Jackie at the way bottom, the daughter being just slightly above her, and Zach being even below, I would say, Jackie at this point, because he's just an annoying clod.
Okay. Oh, just wait. Where are you putting Childs? Where are you putting Childs on this one?
Childs just, he's a... What is it? He's like a MacGuffin? He just moves the plot from point A to point B?
Yeah, sure.
Also, just slightly above that, like, in his own category, we didn't discuss him in this batch, but every time I see fucking Matan...
I mean, explain what that means.
He is exasperating.
Yes.
His contempt and adversarial nature at every criminal trial, seemingly, and he gets assigned all the cases, but he cannot stand, and he loses badly every time. He does not play the game well. He's just, he's really bad at his job.
Yeah. You're not wrong. He is infuriating. He has a punchable face, I feel like. Or, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean the actor has a punchable face. The character and the way he is portrayed has a punchable face. I just want to poke him.
Yeah, if I had never seen this series, I would have thought he was perfectly a likable person. It's not like former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who has the most punchable face I think I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Like, I see that face, I want to punch it immediately.
Got it.
Like, he doesn't even have to speak any of his dribble. I just, pow, right in the kisser.
Any final thoughts before we sign off on this episode?
There's a whole lot of sex going on.
There is about to be a whole lot of sex going on.
There is a lot of tension.
Yes, there is.
Now, will anybody get some eruptions?
We will have to see. Yes, we will have to see. So next time we are covering episode 16, 17, and 18, where some of these things are definitely going to be coming to a head. Yep.
Coming to a head, huh? Okay.
Excellent. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Adjourned. Adjourno.
Adjourno.